All right, thanks everybody for being on. I don't know, it's choppy for me. I don't know if it's choppy for you all. If so, I'll take the blame for Saturday, but not on the choppy video feed. Uh, Disappointing loss to Oklahoma State on Saturday. Too many mistakes to beat a quality opponent on the road. I think I was pretty clear about that after the game. There's a very small margin for error in this league and where we're at right now in this league, and we just made too many mistakes. I'll quickly recap and turn the page on this one. Special teams, I'll go over the negatives first and then hit the positives. Missed opportunity on a kickoff, on the fumble, hit us in the chest. We weren't able to recover it. Lost 3 points there when we dropped the snap on the field goal. And then I thought we had 3 opportunities to flip the field with our punt unit, and we didn't hit great punts. The positives on special teams, I thought our kickoff coverage and our punt coverage units were really good. And then we made all of our attempted kicks, which Evan had a really good week, so that wasn't surprising. I was proud of him. Defensively, hit the negatives. We got the ball out twice and couldn't recover either one of them. Gave up 200-plus yards rushing. It's going to be tough to win when you do that. And we were only 50% on third down. The last drive took up 7 minutes and 30 seconds. They converted 4 third downs. That was a tough pill to swallow. Positives are we limited their explosive plays. They were the most explosive offense in the country last year and returned most of those pieces. We did do a good job of getting the ball out. We didn't recover it, but we got the ball out. I thought Tony Fields' interception was big. And then we did a much better job from week 1 getting 11 hats to the football. Some misfits and misassignments led to some of those big runs, as I stated after the game. I thought these guys played well. Alonzo Adai, Tony Fields, Darius, and Tyke Smith. I thought those guys played at a high level in that football game. Offensively, hit the negatives first. 16 negative plays. We had some critical penalties. Stalled didn't really get down to the red zone where we stalled one time, but really kind of in that fringe area. Moved the ball real well up and down the field, but got stalled in the fringe area. We missed explosive plays. We got to be better. We got to be able to connect on those downfield plays. I think we were 1 or 2 or 1 or 0 of 8. I can't remember. Positives, we ran the ball effectively. Letty went over 100 yards again. I thought he really, really played well. At 3 of our 4 wideout spots, we won our fair share of one-on-ones. Didn't always look like it on TV, I'm sure, but we won some one-on-ones. And I already talked about we moved the ball well in the open field. I thought these guys played well. Letty, I already talked about. Really good job after contact. Winston Wright, well over 100 yards. Huge play. I thought up front, Mike Brown and Chase Barrett played really well. Probably Mike's best game, back-to-back games. He's played well, and Chase did a really nice job in his first game of the year. And then Mike O'Laughlin, I thought he did some nice things blocking at the tight end position. Kind of wrap up this game. We got to learn from it and move on. It's not the outcome we wanted. Thought that we had some opportunities to win the game, and we didn't do it. So we got to continue to get better. Not only players, coaches-wise, we got to get better and learn from it and move on. Kind of turn the page here to Baylor. It's glad to be getting home. Kind of sad that we're not going to have fans. Glad that we are going to have fans for the Kansas game and moving forward. Hopefully, opportunity to play on national television again. Chance of redemption on national television. I think we have the same crew. Baylor was impressive in week 1 versus Kansas. Really dominated that game. A lot of respect for Coach Aranda. I think one of the top defensive minds in all of college football over a long period of time. Obviously coming off a national championship last year, and he's put together a great staff. 2 former head coaches as his coordinators. 2 really successful head coaches as his coordinators. And I talked about this last year, is when you turn on Baylor's tape, they're a tough, physical team that runs very well, and you can tell that they have a really good culture there that Matt Rule built, and then Coach Rand and his staff can continue to maintain. Kind of a preview here, special teams. Their coordinator is Matt Pallage. We work together at Kentucky. He does a really nice job. He was at Lafayette the last 2 years and really helped them help Billy Napier turn that program around. They had an explosive returner in Ebner, who's a running back. He took 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns last week. Very seldom do you see that in one game. That's impressive. Their specialists are good. Made a 47-yard field goal, and across their coverage units, athletes that run really well. And like I said, they play extremely hard on special teams, and you can tell that's part of the culture that's ingrained there. Defensively, Ron Roberts, their defense coordinator, really successful head coach. He was at Lafayette as well, help Billy get that program going. I think they've won 10-plus games 2 years in a row there, and they're still undefeated. But really a sound defensive mind. They're aggressive, played a lot of guys up front and caused some problems for Kansas. Their linebacker, number 2, the Bernard kid, he made about every play against us last year. He really runs well. And then what they call their star position, number 8, I thought he played really well in the opener too. And they've got a group in the secondary that's played a lot of football, especially at corner. Offensively, coordinator's Larry Fedora, really successful head coach at Southern Miss and then at North Carolina. A lot of respect for him. They play really fast. I think the O-line, after one game, looked much improved. Charlie Brewer's their quarterback. He's a winner. Got asked about him yesterday, and that's about as good a compliment as I can give. He's a winner, and he's won at every level. Comes from a winning family. They got special talent at running back, and then they really can run on the outside. And I expect them to try to get those guys involved early in the game. So wrapping up here, and I'll take questions. Looking forward to this. Looking forward to the preparation this week. I think it's going to say a lot about our team, how we prepare. We had a good day yesterday, and work days on Tuesday and Wednesday. So with that, I'll take questions.
First question today will be from Greg Hunter. Go ahead, Greg.
So, Neal, start with the bad in terms of penalties. Not something you guys had a lot last year. Your numbers weren't bad at all, but obviously a problem this Saturday. So is it something you harp on, or is that just exacerbate the problem, or how do you correct that area?
Well, I didn't necessarily agree with all of them. But the procedure penalties and the non-aggressive penalties, those got to be eliminated because they kill yourself. And then the selfish penalties, Lady had one after the whistle had blown. We got to eliminate those. The aggressive penalties, you got to be careful with. The holding penalties, there's going to be some of those. You just continue to stress technique. But where we're at right now as a program, we cannot beat ourselves, whether that's turnovers, whether it's missed assignments, penalties. We can't do that. And so we've got to get better at it. And really speaking, Greg, on those non-aggressive penalties.
Coach, we have a question sent in from John Raby, and you mentioned it earlier, Ebner, their kick returner. After seeing what he did last week, how difficult is that to defend?
Well, I mean, we're going to have to – our kickoff cover team, we think, has been a strength of ours here for the last 2 years. Thought they did a really nice job last week. Didn't do a very good job week 1, and I'm sure they're licking their chops a little bit because Eastern Kentucky ran one back for a touchdown and got called back due to a penalty. But it's a great challenge for us, and we've got several starters that run down on the kickoff, and our mentality is it's the first play of our defensive series. So he did a tremendous job, really kind of went against the grain. Looked like he kind of cut both of them back to the field. They had a boundary return called, and then he's fast and elusive.
Next question will be from Cody Nesper. Go ahead, Cody.
Hey, Neal. You talked about Dave Aranda, but with him in the league now, that's 5 first- or second-year head coaches. And I was just wondering, with that many new coaches in the league, do you think there's a possibility that as you 5 continue to grow and develop your programs that we could really see the league change in the coming years?
Well, I think the league has already changed a great deal. I think the defenses, and I think we've talked about this in these press conferences some in the past, but I think the defenses and the special teams play. This is still a really innovative league offensively, and it's a league in certain games you're going to have to score a lot of points to win. But I think the defenses have really innovated as well, and then special teams play has gotten significantly better, in my opinion. And there's really good coaches here from top to bottom. You look at what Dave's done throughout his career, defensive numbers that he's put up, and in a really tough physical league in the SEC, and the same in the Big Ten. And then Ron Roberts, he's a guy that probably not a lot of people maybe in our market know his name, but I can tell you in the coaching profession, extremely well thought of. Especially in the Southeast. Head coach at Delta State in Southeast Louisiana, and did a phenomenal job in really high. It doesn't get talked about, but he actually hired Coach Aranda as the defense coordinator there at Delta State, and the AD we had at Troy came in, and he spoke very highly of both of those guys, Jeremy McClain.
Coach, another question sent in to us, this one from Bob Herzl. You seem like the type of person that you don't take losses home with you. How do you manage that, and how does your family kind of support you after those moments, and then how important is it for a loss to not get to you?
Nah, Dax didn't miss any blocks. He didn't. Ainsley didn't make any bad play calls, so I'm not taking it home. My 12-year-old critiques everything. So Adeline, she's got some good advice. But no, you can't take them home. It's part of it. If you're in this business, you're going to lose some tough ones. That was a tough one. Maybe as tough as we've had here, honestly. But no, we don't take them home. Flip the page, move on. But I don't think it's fair to your family if you take them home.
Next question from Michael Sussman. Go ahead, Michael.
Now that you've had some time to watch the film and assess the play of the offensive line, how do you think they did as a unit and individually?
Well, mixed bag. I thought at times, in the interior three, we did some really nice things, created some movement. Short yardage wise, we were successful. At tackle, we've got to get better. Those guys haven't played a lot of football. We got compressed, lost some one-on-ones. And so I think it was a mixed bag. I do think we're improved from last year. We got to do a better job, staff-wise, myself mainly, not putting our quarterback in a position to get hit. He's got to do a better job getting rid of the ball and throwing the ball from the location in the pocket he's supposed to, which he'll get corrected.
Next up is Kevin Kinder. Go ahead, Kevin.
Coach, you mentioned correcting some of the mistakes, and obviously there's an on-field component to that. Could you tell us, especially for some of the mental aspects, how you correct those off the field, like your discussions with assistants, then them in the meeting room with their position players? How does that work through the week?
Yeah, so basically what we do is, as a staff, we watch the game. If it's an away game, we got time on the way home, so we watch it then, and then you may have a minute to kind of give them a pointer as we get off the plane. Most of the time, we'll put the comments in our computer system, and they're able to see them on Sunday. We can't meet with them, but they're able to see it on Sunday. And then we watch the game with them on Monday mornings and go over the positives and the negatives. And, the learning point for this, team-wise, individual players are, why the details matter, how small the margin is between winning and losing. Because that game was winnable, and there were winning plays that we could have made that could have changed the outcome, and we didn't make them. And so you got to learn from those things. And then sometimes on defense, trying to do too much, where you got to control your gap. If you get out of your gap and you don't do your 1/11th, then that's how runs scored out. And so that's kind of what happened. And then offensively, a lot of it is just technique issues. not using the correct footwork up front, trying to speed through our releases at wideout when we got pressed. And some of it, they're just better than us at certain positions too. I mean, and that's part of it. We got to figure out a way as a staff to overcome some of those things. So I think there's plenty of blame to go around. You learn from it. You own your mistakes. You hold each other accountable, and then you go back to work and get it fixed and have a better plan and play better the next game.
Next question is from Chris Anderson. Go ahead, Chris.
How did you guys come out of the game as far as health-wise? I saw a couple guys have to go to the sideline, get worked out, and may not have come back in during the game.
Yeah. First of all, I thought from a physically conditioning-wise, I thought we really did a nice job. Offensively, we were on the field 90-plus snaps, and I thought our guys did especially our big guys, did a nice job of. I don't think fatigue was a factor in the game. So I guess what I'm trying to say. From an injury standpoint, Van Darius would be the one that's questionable. He had the sack there and got hurt on the sack. He'd be questionable going into the game on Saturday. Everybody else, I think we came out relatively healthy.
Next question is from Ryan Pritt. Go ahead, Ryan.
Hey, Neal, you talked a little bit even yesterday about Jarrett's performance and his toughness, obviously, that he had to display on Saturday. I was wondering what your evaluation of his decision-making was, especially in RPO situations, and I was going to ask how much of those decisions, those RPO plays, are on his plate right now?
I don't know what the percentage it was exactly. We had a good number. I would say in that, probably 15-ish range on Saturday were RPOs. He missed a couple throws. Those are footwork. He got his feet tangled up. And really what it came down to, he's trying to rush. Trying to throw the ball before the running back had cleared, and he got his feet tangled up. We missed two that would have been big plays. He had a couple where he didn't have his eyes in the right spot. But you're never going to be perfect on those. Honestly, there's a lot that goes into it. Some of it's post-snap. And so those are really bang-bang plays that you're not going to be perfect on. But we run a good bit of them. We'll continue to run a good bit of them. Decision-making overall he can be better. I don't think it was poor, but he can definitely be better.
Next question is from Chuck Landon. Go ahead, Chuck. Go ahead, Chuck.
Yeah, it says Chuck's muted right there on the screen.
Chuck, you can unmute.
There you go. All right, just move on.
We'll go to John Antonic. Go ahead, John.
I was doing some quick research here while you were talking, and it looks like the vast majority of their experience is up front on the offensive line. Ran for 200 yards against Kansas. Is there a concern there that they're going to try to possess the ball and try to reduce the game a little bit with what they've got?
Well, I think they want to run the football. That's Coach Fedora's always ran the football, played with tempo, and they'll throw it too. But with the talent they have at running back, people try to get their best players the ball, and those running backs are special. So we do anticipate them coming in and establishing the run. The O-line is better, for sure. I thought they played. That's the thing that stuck out to me watching the game, just watching Baylor over the summer and then watching them their first football game here is their O-line's much improved.
Brewer, a running quarterback, too. That's a concern, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he makes plays with his feet. He does. He extends plays. They'll run him a little bit. Where he really hurts you is on call pass plays when he scrambles and breaks the pocket.
We'll go to Mike Kazaza. Go ahead, Mike.
Neal, how are you?
Good, Mike. How are you?
I have two for you. Your defense, I think, probably wanted to do more to affect their offensive line and the quarterback, but I'm not sure if that was where you wanted it to. But I'm also not sure it could have gotten there because of how they called it and how quick the quarterback took care of things. I don't know how you interpret that. And then the second one, you said nobody yesterday wants your opinion on the rules thing about the stats for quarterbacks rushing and passing. I'd like to hear your opinion on that.
All right, so I'll talk first of all about the schematically what we were trying to do against Oklahoma State. We play a little bit of a light box to try to take away the explosive plays, especially Tylan Wallace. Really run. We knew they were trying to get him the ball. We had a good feel for where he would be at, so we tried to play some coverage to take him. We knew he'd get some catches, but we were trying to take the shot plays out. So we played a little bit, probably a gap down sometimes in the box against them. But where we got in trouble is our fitters were late a couple times, and then on at least 4 occasions we got out of our gap and gave up. One of them was the touchdown, the long touchdown, and then 3 other plus 10 runs because of that. But that was we played a lot of 3-man front against them. We slanted some. We're still trying to, we've only had Tony Fields, and he's really talented. We've only had him for a short amount of time. We're trying to figure out exactly what's the best way that he likes to see the game, and so we're a little bit of work in progress there. As far as the rules, I got as far as stats go, I got 2 things that I think that, and I don't even know who you complain to on this, but so the first one is what you're talking about, and it's lost yards, rushing, okay, and what they do is they deduct your sacks from your rushing yards, which to me it's a pass play, so it should be sack yardage. It should be a separate stat. They should come off your total offensive yards, but not necessarily your rushing yards, because it's misleading. It's no different if it's a pass play and the quarterback takes it off and runs on a pass play, and it's behind, and he gets tackled behind the line of scrimmage. You know what they call that? A sack. Even though it's really, you know what I mean? Like, it comes off, it doesn't. But anyway, so in my opinion, all right, you run the football for 131 yards. I think is what we ran it for. The sack yardage shouldn't come out. If you have a run play and you get tackled for -2, that's a tackle for a loss. That comes off your rushing yards. My other pet peeve statistically is a ball's completed, all right, or it's a really good throw. Let's say the ball's caught, tipped up, defender catches it, all right, or it's a ball that goes right through an eligible receiver's hands into a defensive back's. In my opinion, that should be something other than an interception that goes on the quarterback stats, because that interception wasn't necessarily his fault, so it shouldn't show up in his individual stats. So that's my thoughts on 2 of the stats.
Have time for 2 more questions here. We'll go to Greg Hunter. Go ahead, Greg.
Coach, personnel question on guys who didn't play. Sam Brown, I don't think got any snaps Saturday, and then Sean Martin. I know you said he was contact traced the first game, but I don't know if he made the trip.
So Sean Martin did not make the trip. Yesterday was his first practice back. He got cleared on Friday. Came out of contact tracing. On Friday, so he's back and getting back in the mix this week. And then Sam Brown was just coach's decision.
And Chuck, we'll go back to you to try it again.
All right. Hey, Neal, during the post game, you were out. How do you fix that?
I didn't hear the question, Chuck. I'm sorry, broke up.
How do you fix the 4 fumble problem? How do you fix that you didn't recover any?
Well, the one on kickoff you can practice, because we got to it. We were the first ones to get to it, and then it hit off our chest. So we worked that. We do a takeaway circuit every single day we practice, and we work that. So the other 2 we didn't get to. They were on the ground, and their offensive linemen, it was right at their feet, and they fell on both of them. So there's not much you can do. I believe if you strain, and I think if you continue to do the right things over and over, that ball will bounce your way a little bit. And so I think that's what we got to do. We got to strain and prepare better, and if we do those things, and I think that ball bounced to us.